You ever have that chilling moment when something private, something that belongs only to you, suddenly isn't yours anymore? For me, it was late afternoon. The sun stretched long, golden lines across my driveway, and I was halfway through a lukewarm cup of coffee when I heard it. Kriek. The sound of my mailbox door opening. I leaned toward the window and froze. There she was, Vivian Cross, president of the HOA. Or at least, she called herself president. More like self-appointed tyrant. The kind of woman who wore pearls to garden meetings and acted like the sidewalks belonged to her. Clipboard clutched under one arm, oversized sunglasses hiding her eyes, and a smirk that could slice through glass. Her manicured hand slipped into my mailbox, pulled out my letters, and tucked them neatly under her arm as though she'd earned them. And when I stepped outside, she didn't even flinch. "Oh, good, you're here," she purred. "Don't worry. I'll keep this safe until you finally pay your fines. Maybe next time you'll respect the rules." Then with a little smirk, "Honestly, you should thank me. If you can't even manage your own mail, what kind of homeowner are you?" Now, I'm not the type to rattle easy. Name's Daniel Ross. To most folks in the neighborhood, I'm just the quiet guy at the end of the street who minds his own business. I keep my yard trimmed, wave when people pass by, and spend weekends fixing up my boat. But in that stack of mail Vivian tucked under her arm, two things that meant everything to me. One, an envelope from my daughter overseas, serving in the Navy. Letters I counted the days for. Two, confidential federal documents related to my inspection work, the kind that cannot go missing. When Vivian strutted away, laughing like she had me wrapped around her finger, my jaw tightened. That wasn't just arrogance, that was theft. And theft of mail is a federal offense. But here's what she didn't know. Because Vivian never bothered to know me, she thought I was just another homeowner to bully. What she didn't realize was that I've spent the last 15 years as a federal inspector. Investigations, audits, compliance checks, it's my world. And while she was playing queen with her clipboard, I was quietly building a case that could tear her little empire apart. You might wonder, if I was a federal inspector, why didn't she know from the start? Simple. I kept it that way. When I moved into that neighborhood, I never flaunted my work. I didn't wear the badge on my sleeve or plaster credentials on my mailbox. Around here, I was just Dan, the quiet neighbor. And Vivian? She never asked. She assumed I was powerless, an easy target. That arrogance was her blind spot, and my greatest weapon. The more I observed, the uglier it got. She fined neighbors for trash cans 2 inches too close to the curb. She locked mailboxes for families who missed payments. She called Mrs. Delgado, an 82-year-old widow, a visual nuisance for having a ceramic gnome on her lawn. I watched Mrs. Delgado cry while Vivian sneered, "Rules are rules. Maybe you should move somewhere you belong." Mr. and Mrs. Patel, who worked night shifts, were fined for overgrown grass because their lawn service was late one week. Vivian left them a $500 penalty taped right on their front door. And the Johnson kids? Their basketball hoop was ordered to be removed because it was a safety hazard. I saw little Caleb drag the hoop into the garage, shoulders slumped, while his mom whispered, "Don't cry, honey." Vivian didn't just enforce rules, she weaponized them. Suspense build, planning revenge. So I started small. Photos, Vivian with stolen mail in her hand, screenshots, bogus fines that had no legal basis, testimonies from neighbors who whispered about missing packages but were too scared to speak up. At first, my neighbors didn't trust me. They were afraid. "If she finds out we talked to you, she'll double our fines," Mrs. Patel said quietly. But once they realized I wasn't just collecting stories, I was building a case, they leaned in. Mrs. Delgado brought me tea one evening and whispered, "If you can stop her, Daniel, do it for all of us. We can't live like this anymore." It wasn't just about me anymore. It was about everyone. One evening, she caught me watching. "You know, Dan," she sneered, "people who don't follow the rules never last long here. Maybe you should sell before things get harder for you." Her little clique laughed, but I saw it, that flicker of suspicion in her eyes. She knew I wasn't afraid, so I backed off. Let her think I was beaten. Even though every fiber in me burned to protect my daughter's letter, to storm over and snatch it back. I stayed patient. The morning came like clockwork. Vivian, sunglasses glinting, strutted down the street, clipboard tapping against her hip. She popped my mailbox open, snatched the envelopes, and hummed like she was queen of the block. Then, two black SUVs rolled around the corner. Doors swung open. Federal agents. Badges catching the sunlight. "Vivian Cross?" one asked, voice firm. She froze, letters still in her hand. Yes? What's this about?" "You're under federal investigation for mail theft, fraud, and unlawful HOA practices." Her sunglasses slipped. This is ridiculous. I am the HOA. You can't do this." But when they pulled out the evidence, the photos, the testimonies, the bank records of fines funneled into her personal account, her voice cracked. Neighbors began to step out of their houses one by one. Mrs. Delgado clutched her ceramic gnome and whispered, "Is it finally over?" The Johnson kids hugged each other, basketball hoop forgotten, and Mr. Patel muttered, "About time." For the first time, Vivian wasn't feared. She was finished. Turns out, Vivian wasn't just stealing mail. She and two board members were skimming thousands in fine money into their own accounts. Vacations, designer bags, even a secret savings fund tied to her name. The same clipboard she waved in people's faces ended up sealed in an evidence bag. She thought she was untouchable. What she never realized was that the quiet neighbor she mocked was the exact federal inspector with the authority to dismantle her entire scheme. Now, the neighborhood is calm. No bogus fines, no stolen mail. Mrs. Delgado's gnome sits proudly on her porch. Caleb shoots hoops again in the driveway. The Patels mow their lawn in peace. No fines taped to their door. And I'll never forget Vivian's face, that smug smile melting into fear as reality crashed down. And if you're still with me, so don't forget to subscribe to HOA Traps and comment down. If your HOA president stole your mail and tried to bully you, would you confront them head on? Or would you sit back, stay patient, and let them fall into their own trap?